What's up everybody? Welcome back to another Save Your Souls video. This time we're going to do a performance review on the KD9s that you can see in front of you. Now before we start, I also want to mention that this is the video where you get to put your comment if you are participating in the Kobe 11 Elite Easter giveaway. And with that out of the way, let's go straight into the review. Right, so let's start with the traction. As far as the traction is concerned, I would say I give it a solid 8 out of 10. Not really groundbreaking enough to give it a 10 out of 10, but it does work. And it works to the point where you're not thinking about traction anymore when you're playing, which is very important because it basically allows you to do your moves, do your cuts without worrying about slipping. And that's really the way you want to go. Now, when I say it's not groundbreaking and it's not amazing, I'm just saying that it's not aggressive enough that it just reminds you that you're there, because there are a couple of basketball shoes out there now, like the Kyrie 2s for example, that has traction so aggressive that when you're running around you skid and you get reminded, oh yeah, I'm wearing a pair of Kyrie 2s and it's got beastly traction. These guys are pretty much going to do their job. You're not going to worry about that a lot, and the reason behind that is because it offers a lot of surface area. So this portion right here is very flat. It hugs the floor really well. And the rubber compound is grippy on its own, and the traction pattern, surprisingly enough, is actually pretty good. It gives you a lot of multi-directional coverage. Even if I was worried about the traction a lot the first time I saw it, just because it's not herringbone, and usually when it's not herringbone, it doesn't work. These guys work. It gives you left to right coverage, front to back coverage. Pretty much covers all the movements that you'd make in a basketball game. And another thing that you're going to notice when you're playing this is because of the way that they designed the outsole, where a portion of the forefoot is kind of separate from the rest of the outsole, it gives you a lot more range of motion, and it allows more of the material to kind of get in contact with the floor. So your toe offs, you're going to notice, are going to be a little bit better, because again, you're getting more traction off your toe offs. Now, that being said, the only thing that you want to keep in mind when you're playing in these, especially on dusty courts, is that you're going to need to wipe. So probably in a game, we're going to need to wipe a few times, once or twice, just because of the small circles or hexagonal patterns over here in the lateral side, in the outer lateral side of the outsole, just because the pattern is really small, that it allows dust to get trapped inside them, and that really is what's going to cause you to slip around. It's because there's going to be some dust between your outsole and the floor, and you're going to be slipping and sliding on that. So if you don't want that to happen, you want to keep up with white, particularly in this area over here. Now, having said that, again, it is very flat to the ground. You have a lot of surface area to work on. You get this amazing sort of innovation in design on the toe that allows you to get better toe offs, and that pretty much justifies a good rating for traction as far as I'm concerned. Now, going up to the midsole, to the cushion that this setup offers you, it's actually one of the best out there right now. And I say that not because of new materials. There's nothing new here. This is still Zoom Air. This is still Phylon. No new way of doing it. It's not a new foam. It's not a new Zoom unit. It's just the way it's implemented that's key to what it offers you. How it's implemented is it's actually sort of articulated. If you look at the sides, it actually almost looks like Air Max already. It exposes the airbag, and it's a large volume. First time I looked at these, I didn't know that they were Zoom Air. I wasn't thinking that they were Zoom Air because they kind of made me think of Max Air. But they are actually Zoom Air, and the way it's implemented makes it more effective and efficient. What I mean by that is because they took out Phylon that would usually surround the Zoom Air. So for example, if you have a pair of LeBrons, probably LeBron 6s that offered double stacked Zoom Air, so it had a full length Zoom Air unit stacked on top of another full length Zoom Air unit, you don't get the responsiveness that you'd really get from Zoom Air, just because it still is embedded in a bed of Phylon. So imagine if the Zoom Air unit here has Phylon on the sides, it's going to stop the Zoom Air from compressing as much as it wants to. Basically, the KD9s removed that resistance. So without the Phylon here on the sides, It just allows the Zoom Air to just really compress as much as it allows itself to do with the force that you put onto them. And then with the Zoom Air fibers inside it just snaps back at you, giving you a lot of responsiveness. And that's really what this shoe offers you. It's probably one of the most comfortable shoes I've ever worn from a cushion perspective, just because of the amount of compression that you get on the Zoom unit. And at the same time, it's also one of the most responsive basketball shoes that I've worn, because after it compresses, it really just snaps back because it is Zoom Air. Now, having said that, you're going to get a huge amount of step in comfort. Well, not totally because of the Zoom Air, but because you've got an Ortholite insole and you've got a layer of Poron between the strobel board and your insole. So that gives you that step in comfort. But when you start walking around and you start feeling the Zoom Air compress, and that's really the key thing to say, you will feel the Zoom Air compress and respond. And that's not something that you feel in a lot of basketball shoes that offer Zoom Air nowadays. So here's a quick view of that full-length Zoom bag that's really exposed, which allows you that articulation enough that you really feel the Zoom Air. So there's really no proper term I can use to describe that, because again, this is the first time I've seen it implemented this way and this effective, but I am pretty sure that this is the way to go as far as Zoom Air is concerned. I did mention on the traction section a while ago on how they separated the forefoot from the rest of the outsole, giving you a little bit more traction and better performance or efficiency in the traction department. In the cushion department, it offers that same advantage, because this part of the forefoot is separate from the rest of the foot. You're feeling the Zoom Air here on the forefoot a lot. You're feeling the responsiveness of the Zoom Air a lot here in the section, and that's not something that you get in a lot of basketball shoes these days, because when Zoom Air is implemented on the forefoot area, it's usually on a Zoom bag over here, and you're not going to feel it past the ball of your foot. Now, the way that they built the KD9s, you're still going to feel that when you toe off. And that's definitely a first for me in terms of experiencing, so really give it a huge amount of props for that, just because of how good that feels when you're on court. So cushion is really great. I'd say almost a 10 out of 10. You know, I don't really want to give 10 out of 10s, but the cushion here really deserves that. Moving up to the materials again, still nothing new. You get a performance woven upper. I'm not sure if this is fly weave, but it does look like fly weave from the way it's constructed or weaved, and also the way it's implemented, because it's not like Flyknit where this part is really stretchy and flexible just because it's just woven material. This is woven material, but underneath it there is a layer of nylon. So it's rigid enough to give you that support for basketball, but it's still a little bit flexible that you can certainly get sort of a one-to-one fit when you wear it. Fit is something that these shoes shine in as well, and not because of the performance woven forefoot area over here, but because of this section over here and the heel to the midfoot. Now, again, not new materials over here. It's just pretty much a combination of nylon, fuse, and mesh. But the way it's designed, it sort of cups your whole back foot area. So from the heel to your midfoot, it just really holds it down onto the footbed, locks your heel down. You're not going anywhere. Even if you have a lot of space on the forefoot, for example, your ankle area is going to be locked in place. So you can have a lot of dead space on the forefoot, for example, but it's not going to be a big deal because your heel is locked down in place. You can run around, you can have wiggle room on the forefoot, and you're still going to get supported, because this fit over here, like I said, I don't know how they did that. Honestly, I thought it was just because it was tight, because that's something that you have to think about when you buy a pair. I would still recommend going into a store and fitting a pair before buying it, but if you have no choice but to buy online, remember that this section right here is really tight. So when you first try to put them on, it's going to be hard to stick your foot in there. Eventually it'll get easier as you use the shoe, but initially it's going to be hard to put the shoe on, and I thought that was the reason why it had that much lockdown on the midfoot to the heel area, and I was thinking if they get broken in, you're going to lose some of that support. And the thing is, you don't. Personally, I don't even tighten my shoelaces when I'm running around in these, just because of how tight this section is. Now, it's tight, but it's not tight and comfortable, so there's no problem of materials rubbing into your foot, giving you blisters. It's still very comfortable. So they design it in a way that it really locks your foot down. It's really tight in this area, but not tight that it's uncomfortable. It's really just the way the whole thing is designed, that it kind of locks onto your foot and it doesn't allow it to go anywhere. Now, having said that, the forefoot area is, for me, a little bit wide. I don't think it's true to size, because I'm a true size 10. These are size 10. I still have a lot of wiggle room on the toe box area, so I think that you might, if you really want a snug fit, you might want to go down half a size. But like I said, because you're getting a lot of lockdown here, that's not really an issue. Even if you have wiggle space on the forefoot area, that's not going to be that much of a problem. Now, if you are the kind of person who really wants everything snug from heel to toe, then go ahead and try half a size smaller. Maybe that'll work for you. To me, I'd go through the size here. Even if you get some dead space on the forefoot, you won't get uncomfortable. The heel to the midfoot area gives you a good enough lockdown that the forefoot area isn't that much of a problem. The only thing that you're going to have a problem in if you buy a pair that's larger than your usual size is that you might start tripping on yourself if you've got like half an inch worth of space there or something. The fit is really awesome. So great fit, great cushion, okay traction. You know, this is a great package for the price. It's I think $150, really cheaper than, let's say, a Kobe or a LeBron or a Hyperdunk Flyknit. I think those things are overpriced, my personal opinion. But these guys at $150, $170 is awesome. It offers you everything that you need from a support sort of perspective, from a cushioning sort of perspective, all in a not so expensive package. So, you know, it's pretty awesome there. That covers the whole performance review of the shoe. I think it's bang for your buck, especially for this colorway, because I get to wear it casually as well, because I like the way that the colors look and the design. I don't like this part. This is the only part that I'm thinking, you know, could have been better, but that's the heel tab. It's small, sort of nitpick, but from a performance perspective, I'd give it overall a 9 out of 10. You know, great traction, and not the best, but great traction. Really good cushion. Like, if you really want to feel Zoom Air in basketball, this is the way to go. Fit and the support is awesome because of the fit. I should mention that as far as the lacing system is concerned, these guys sort of act like seat belts as well. They kind of wrap around your foot. So they start here, they go around the bottom of your foot, and they end up on the other side. So when you tighten your shoelaces, it kind of makes the materials hug your foot a lot more. But like I said, for me personally, because of the amount of lockdown I'm already getting on the heel to the midfoot, I don't even tighten these anymore. I just pretty much tie the shoelaces on over here, so I'm not tripping over the shoelaces. But you know, this section remains as loose as it was when I bought it. The only other thing that I want to mention is on the heel area, and this is probably one of the reasons why it offers such a good fit. There's a lot of padding here on the heel. When your heel goes inside, there's a huge amount of padding that's going to prevent it from leaving the footbed or getting loose. So, you know, overall, it's an awesome basketball shoe. Like I said, for the price that you're paying for it, it is one of those bang for the buck kind of deals. And I would highly recommend it if you're looking for a good, versatile basketball shoe that you can also rock off court. These guys would be it. That pretty much takes care of the performance review for the KD9s. Now, if you're new to the channel, we don't really do a lot of performance reviews, just because there's not a lot of performance footwear out there that's worth doing a performance review on. Those good products are few and far between. Fortunately, the KD9s are one of those good pairs that you can get maybe once, twice a year. So that pretty much takes care of it. Like I mentioned in the start of the video, if you're participating in the Kobe 11 Easter giveaway, this is the video you want to comment on. Aside from that, thank you so much for your support. And if you like the content, go ahead and subscribe. If you like what you see, follow us in all forms of social media that we are on. We have an Instagram account, a Facebook account, and of course, the YouTube channel. And that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for your time, and we will see you on the next video.